All right, let's talk about this canceling Halloween story. So take us out to Washington State. So Washington State elementary school there has decided to cancel the Halloween parade due to what they're calling racial insensitivity.
Yes, they're saying more students of color do not celebrate Halloween. They're saying that they have been considering this for years and they feel like this is the year to finally pull the plug because students of color either do not celebrate the holiday or they cannot afford the costumes and they think that it's finally time to pull it. Now, they're not saying they're canceling trick-or-treating in neighborhoods. They're saying they're canceling it in schools. They will instead do a fall-themed celebration that will celebrate the end of the harvest. So obviously some parents think, oh my gosh, you're taking away our culture. How dare you do this? We need Halloween. The children love it. I am one who feels like, hey, if we're realizing that this marginalizes people, it's not like a long lost tradition from the beginning of time. In fact, Halloween is an adaptation of a Celtic holiday, a pagan holiday that celebrates the end of the harvest. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was like a party, like, hey, we grew a lot this year. We worked the fields hard. We're going to have a party. We're going to dress in costumes to ward away any evil energies that come when the days get darker. But how many of us have actually worked the fields and need this party because we've been working so hard in farms, right? So the spirit of the energy of the holiday no longer exists as it is now. Now it's about like shipping plastic pumpkins from China. So I have no love lost for tradition for this, if that's what it's about.
I don't know. I mean, it's the thing. You just want to take away. At what point do we stop canceling everything? Though?
Or at what point do we find an inclusive way to celebrate everything?
Okay, so we have a Jewish holiday at school. What if you're not Jewish, right? The kids get in New Jersey. The kids get offered a Jewish holiday. Are the non-Jewish kids supposed to demand that they go to school?
Or but there is a way to include non-Jewish kids in the spirit of something,
Look,
right?
For instance, I am as progressive as they come, I think, right? I mean, I would say, and so I'm all for making sure that we're not practicing any kind of racism in the United States, but Halloween parade where certain families. Their main motivator, let me just read what they said here, so I'm being clear what they said here. There are numerous community and neighborhood events where students and families who wish to can celebrate Halloween. Historically, the Pumpkin Parade marginalizes students of color who do not celebrate the holiday. Specifically, these students have requested to be isolated on campus while the event took place. Now, is it because they don't celebrate it for religious reasons? Or is it because they can't afford it? Because what they're saying also is that it unfairly targets those people who simply can't afford to buy the costumes. Well, okay.
There are certain Christian groups who really find this very upsetting because of
Halloween,
because of the sort of association with the occult.
When I lived in Florida,
there was no association with the occult. It's a holiday to
celebrate
the earth, right, in its pagan rituals. But I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I was not allowed to celebrate Halloween. So I was one of those kids who was isolated. I had to sit outside the classroom while everyone got into their, and it is very isolating. That is an awful experience. And I wish that on nobody. While all the kids, and then the next day, kids always had candy in their lunches. Like, what'd you get? Did you get this? Did you get that? Like, it feels awful. I'm speaking on behalf of those kids when if it was instead a celebration of the harvest with pumpkin-themed pumpkin JoJo's, I would have been able to participate. And
okay,
that would have been a better experience.
You're making a good point. And you're right. I think, okay, at the end of the day, it's not like the city is saying, hey, you can't go out and go trick or treating door to door, and you can't.
You absolutely can.
You can do whatever you want,
right?
You can.
But in the school, does it need to be? Our kids went to a private school in New Jersey that did not celebrate Halloween. They did exactly this. They did the processional feast, which was a processional parade, where they celebrated the harvest. They did not wear costumes to school. They did no costume-themed Halloween anything, but instead they celebrated the harvest in this really, it was a big-time thing.
I'm okay. So what
So
the
we've had
what the
this
school
in our
district,
school.
yeah, what the school district is saying, it says, okay, costume parties may be uncomfortable for those students whose families are unable to afford a costume for them, and I totally appreciate that. I mean, that's a horrible feeling, right? To be
Yes.
left out of something
Yeah.
because you can't afford it. Okay, and the noises that resonate from such events make some children upset, according to the newsletter sent to parents. Okay. Instead of costume parties, students at the elementary school will partake in inclusive events such as thematic units of study about the fall and examining autumnal artwork.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, Jehovah's Witnesses kids can do that.
They can?
Yes. So, like think about the people who are not allowed to have those experiences and how awful it feels.
Yeah.
Think of 6-year-old Natalie and
You know,
you'll feel a
some
little
people are
bit
bringing up
differently.
some great things here. I when I was a kid, I made my own costumes. A lot of times, I made, like Belinda says, the best costume I ever made was a homemade cheetah jumper.
I'm all for the homemade stuff. Yes. And I think my kids like Halloween. I don't love sort of the modern adaptation of it where like there are costumes in July and Costco and everything that becomes commercial is so far from its
Yeah.
sort of native inception, but the kids love it and I'm not one to say like, oh, I don't like how it is in the commercial world, so we don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a hippie.
Cindy Girl says, but paying $50 for a costume to wear for one day is ludicrous. Yeah.
Okay,
It
but
is.
my kids do wear it year round. So
Stephen
My-
Hall
my
says,
daughter's
hell, just give them
school-
all a participation award.
your daughter what?
When my
now,
when my
Philip?
daughter was in elementary school, they didn't allow kids to wear costumes to school. So
Yeah.
it was that for Halloween they didn't do that.
But actually, now where we live, they reuse the costumes for Carnival. And so you get a little bit more bang for your buck,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I like this idea. Kate, no, wait, who was it? Doug S. says, just let the students make their own costumes and make it an art class project. I like that. Or I saw someone else say, make it about something they're currently studying. Like make your costume about something you're currently studying,
I like it.
you know?
As long as it's not a reproductive unit. Know what I mean? No slutty nurse there, fifth grader.
No bra day yesterday. Reproduction today. So let us know what you think about this. Drop us a comment below, this canceling Halloween. I've come around on it. I think if they're going to focus on the study of fall and it's not about the consumerism and they're going to load all these kids up on sugar. By the way, not to get all hippie and so forth, and we talk about health-related stuff here on the show, but overwhelmingly, all of these kids get sick the day after Halloween. Why do they? Because they just eat so much sugar and
they
just
don't sleep.
And they don't sleep and they've just lowered their body's immune system and then they all get a cold.
Actually, yes, we had a friend who was an ER doctor and said that children's illness spikes on the weekend after Halloween because they have lowered their immune system with sugar and they don't sleep. And so they all get viruses. They all get sick right after. And dentists now are saying, let them binge on the sugar one night rather than eat it every night and rot your teeth slowly. Like give them whatever and then take it away. So
Yeah.
I don't
She
know.
used to
I
do this
didn't-
thing called the switch witch. So what was the thing you would offer the kids? Like,
Like,
I'll
do
take
you want to
your
go
bags.
get a toy or something if you hand in your candy on the
If you give me
second
all
day?
your candy, I'll go buy you. I'll buy you a video game. I don't know.
I don't know. I should just take it. I'm like,
You're cruel.
yeah.
So I didn't really do sweets for my daughter when she was growing up. So it wasn't. So when she would go out on Halloween, that was the one night she could just eat as much candy as she wanted, and she would literally like even at like 5 or 6 years old, she'd lay everything out, pick like 5 of them that she wanted to try. She would take like a bite of each one, decide what she thought of it, wrap them back up, and that was it. Like it'd be like 5 or 6 pieces, and she wouldn't even eat the whole thing. She would just like sample it. And I always thought that I was like, well, this kid, I don't know if I'm raising her right or wrong, but
Yeah.
Janice Christie Hahn on Facebook says because the reason we should get rid of it is because it's Satan's holiday. That's not accurate, Janice. Right?
No, it's not. It's a pagan ritual.
It's
Well,
a pagan, which is a derivation of Celtic.
yes, it's to celebrate in its inception. But in some ways now, as it exists, it is Satan's holiday.
Oh,
It's Satan, the commercial Satan.
right. It's the costume Satan, but in the original form, it was just a celebration of the harvest.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
from people that didn't have the concept of Satan. So
Right. Right. It had nothing to do with that. But, people like to, create the boogeyman about this kind of stuff. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You can also become a channel member by going to morninginvest.com/join, where you can stick it to the mainstream media and support independent journalism. We're able to bring you the stories that you won't see on any of the major billionaire-backed networks. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, everyone.